Welcome to the first video of a new series where I'm going to be doing a fairly brief video for each villain that gets revealed leading up to the release of Gotham Knights. I'm going to talk about their history, their lore in the Batman mythology, and also changes that are being made to them for Gotham Knights and what we can expect to see from them going into this new take on the Batman mythology from WB Games Montreal. So the first one that I wanted to talk about is Harley Quinn, because it does seem that they are making some fairly big changes to this character for Gotham Knights. We're seeing her in a way that we don't traditionally see her, but going back into her history, she was created by Paul Dini for Batman the Animated Series to be a girlfriend for the Joker initially. She begins as a psychiatrist in Arkham Asylum who falls in love with the Joker, whom she is trying to treat, and of course that does not actually end up working out. She instead falls in love with him, helps him escape, dresses up like a clown herself, and goes by Harley Quinn. This was inspired by a joke that Joker had made while she was trying to treat him, where he mentioned that her name, Harleen Quinzel, sounded like Harlequin, and of course the rest is history. So then they became conspirators, and Harley Quinn actually became a very popular rogue for Batman. I feel that there was a lot of sympathy toward her because she was depicted as a character who was suffering a lot of relationship abuse from Joker. So she was a character that, even though she was doing these horrible things and working with the Joker, we could also see that she was being heavily manipulated and used, and really in an uncomfortable situation where she'd become someone that she didn't necessarily want to be. I think perhaps the best place that we can see this is in the animated series episode Mad Love, where she learns that everything that the Joker told her when she was trying to treat him was a complete fabrication. His whole backstory that he told her was just one of many that he picks from to get sympathy from people who treat him. And so she realized that she really had no importance to him. She realizes throughout the course of the episode that she is just a pawn for him. He doesn't really care about her, and that was a really well-written episode that was a really interesting commentary on relationship abuse in a kids show. To be honest, the animated series had a lot of that kind of content where, we saw a lot of really dark and mature themes explored in very interesting ways, but again, there's so much in that show that I'm just shocked they let on the air. But anyway, let's segue back to the topic at hand here. So after Harley Quinn leaves the Joker in comics and in mainstream, often she goes and she joins the Suicide Squad, or she will kind of go off on her own, or she will end up becoming Poison Ivy's girlfriend. So there's a handful of different directions that she goes, but ultimately she has a bit of a redeeming arc normally in the comics where she starts to do good things. Patrick Redding talked about this in the behind-the-scenes interview for the Harley Quinn character that they showed on IGN. But he essentially mentioned that Harley Quinn usually becomes a character that still does her zany, crazy things, but she does it toward things that are actually redeemable because, again, she is a fan favorite and fans want to ultimately see her do good things. And this has led her in the direction of becoming an anti-hero a lot of times, or more like a hero like Deadpool. And this is somewhat controversial. Some people enjoy the earlier years of Harley Quinn better, think it's a more interesting take on her, and some have really grown to like her as a standalone character. But for Gotham Knights, they are doing something fairly different, which is this is a Harley Quinn who does not appear to be working with the Joker. We don't know Joker's status in this game. We don't know if he's dead. We don't know if he's missing in action like Bruce Wayne is. We don't know if he has retired since Batman's gone. I don't know. But Harley Quinn has stepped up to the plate because the Joker isn't here to face off against the Knights when they rise up after Batman's disappearance. So in some ways, it kind of seems like Harley Quinn is going to be this game's Joker. WB Games Montreal has been very secretive about the main campaign, so I don't know what her role in it will be, but I wouldn't be surprised if she jumps in and does things similarly in fashion to the Joker, where she is a foil to the overarching scheme and plan. And I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if she has a bigger role than is being advertised right now, because as of right now, it sounds like she has a villain quest where she is microchipping citizens of Gotham City to remove their inhibitions. So she is able to get a fairly large following of regular citizens who are just willing to follow her because she, again, has microchipped them and they are not thinking clearly. They're kind of being brainwashed by her. And she also teams up with the gang, the Freaks, in the game. So the Freaks are not Harley Quinn exclusive. They operate independently, but a lot of times they will align in their goals in the city, and so they will team up. Ultimately, I think that the thing that's really being driven home here is that Harley Quinn is a straight-up supervillain in this game. She's not an anti-hero. She's not just the Joker's friend or girlfriend. She is full-on her own. She is crazy and psychotic and has grown into being a full-on supervillain. And it sounds as though she is taking the opportunity that has arisen since Batman is gone and the Knights are the ones stepping up to the plate, and Joker is the nemesis of Batman, but not necessarily some of these other heroes. And so she is seeming to take that opportunity and really move forward with becoming a fleshed out criminal in her own right. This actually reminds me the very most of the interpretation of Harley Quinn that was portrayed in Batman the Telltale series, where Harley Quinn existed before Joker did, and so she was her own criminal. She had to be the boss, really, and really show everyone that she meant business. That is similar, I think, to the take that we're getting here, but ultimately what we've seen looks really compelling and interesting. We've seen her boss fight, at least some of it. That was shown on IGN first. Again, there was a behind-the-scenes interview where they talked to the developers about creating this interpretation of Harley Quinn, and on top of that, we've seen some concept art and a trailer that showcased her performance a bit. I think it's really interesting. It's a unique take on the character. This is a character who was very prominent in the Arkham games, and so to reinvent her, I think, was somewhat necessary for this new take on Gotham City and the Batman mythology once again. But thanks you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below what villain you are most excited to see, particularly out of those who have been confirmed so far, which are, of course, Mr. Freeze, Harley Quinn, Clayface, Court of Owls, and Penguin. Thanks again, you guys, so much. We will see you all in the next one.